Okay, so it's Christmas Day, and I'm telling a story here at home by playing around with my YouTube videos. So this is typically what I do on a day when I'm not waging spiritual warfare. I'm making a movie at home here. So where am I on here? Okay, so I guess we'll start here. So that's yesterday or just this morning before I finished my spiritual warfare ceremony where I had two climaxes. I had to purify my body of the sinning that I'd done prior to that because it was carrying sin in my every atom in my body. So I don't want to climax while having that sin in there because it's not good for me. It could kill me. So what I did is I climbed up and down the stairs. I listened to these frequencies on both ears. So I go up the stairs, put the phone on one side, keep my eyes shut, did on the other side, went upstairs with my eyes shut. So I do all these frequencies here that you see on here to purify myself of sin. Then as an added layer of protection, I included the animal kingdom here. So I listened to all these animals to purify their spirits of sin and me as sin as well. I listened to some more frequencies, and then this is Mother Jade in here. So I listened to her voice to purify myself even further of sin. So these are just songs that I was listening to until here. This is where I started working here. So I was telling the story about my stepdaughter, Minokman, because that's the person that I worked with and had the two climaxes with. So I was talking about her. Her name is Spring Rain. Okay, so which is connected to bow. So if you've ever heard of a bow and arrow, her name means Spring Rain Bow, which means she's basically a weapon. So rain bow. So there's a particular trailer called Prey, where the lady she's trying to shoot a bear with a bow and arrow, which is a representation of me using my stepdaughter as a form of spiritual warfare to harm the bad guys in creation. It's like a spring rainbow. So anyhow, that's what I was telling the story here. Continue going. This is typically what I have to do here. So when I'm not speaking like I am now, talking to you directly, I have to use words here. So I was telling people B ear equals represents bear. So you take the B and the ear, it actually means bee ear, meaning a queen bee is the ear, meaning there's one is silence and one is sound. So if I was to orgasm with an adult video on, those sounds that penetrate my ear basically could hurt the good side of creation. If I shut that sound off and orgasm without the sound, just by myself, I could kill the bad guys in creation, the evil side of creation. So here we're talking about Resident Evil. In Resident Evil, there's two queens. One is the Red Queen and one is the White Queen. This is your mother. She's good. This is the evil primordial daughter. She's bad. She's evil. So that's what the Queen Bee represents. So in that trailer, Prey, it represents the bear is a representation of the good mother and the bad mother at the same time. So what they're trying to do is get me to hurt the good mother, while I'm trying to hurt the bad mother. And that's what the rainbow represents, or the bow and arrow shot at the bear. So that's this trailer here. So if you watch this Prey trailer, you'll get a better understanding of what's happening at the beginning when she tries to shoot tries to go after the bear. It's a representation of me going after that evil primordial grandmother witch that's in control of creation. So this here, I was telling people about ice, which is another name for crystal meth, which is what I use to connect to the dopamine spirits in my brain. This here entity, capture of the entity, it's a movie from the 80s called The Entity, where they capture an invisible spirit and encase it in ice. They put him in a big ice block, which is a representation of me killing the grandfather spirit with crystal meth or ice. Last night, or 2 nights ago, I was almost this close to killing that evil grandmother spirit. But these damn idiots came and took my sex toy away on me so that I couldn't get rid of her. So, anyhow, we're gonna Project Hail Mary. So in this particular one here, I was talking about at the beginning, the sun is dying, they're saying. The sun is dying. So it's a representation of the black holes that are under the bottom of every star. So if the sun is dying, that means the evil grandmother witch is dying. Or the Red Queen. So when I commit that sin, that these evil spirits, they like partaking in that sin. So when I commit that sin, and then purify myself of the sin, I'm draining those evil spirits of their electromagnetic energy and killing them and putting them to sleep. 2 days ago, I was this close to putting that grandmother to sleep. Then they came and stole my sex toys so they couldn't finish the job. So here we're looking at, now I changed the story and I started talking about railgun technology. I know there's a bunch of countries that have this technology and we're going to need it in the war that's forthcoming, because I didn't get my UFOs today, did I, AI? Or did I, Paul? But it's not over yet. You still got till, well, it's 3 o'clock. You got 9 hours to bring me my UFOs. And if I don't get them, you're going to start a war. So here they're talking about the Dune sound weapon. The guy uses his voice as a form of weaponry. So the weaponry is me using my voice here. When I use my voice and I'm screaming all kinds of profanities, that voice enters my ear where it becomes a weapon to hurt the spirits inside of me and get rid of them, because I'm trying to get rid of those evil spirits. And then when I do the purification, is their father of all creation, it drains their souls or their energy. Here is just that's an example of spiritual warfare using drawing from memory. And then in this particular thing here, you'll notice that this guy has like the girl can see his thoughts over his head. So that's the form of spiritual warfare that I'm using. I have to create a mental imagery in my mind, draw it from memory, to create a fantasy for the evil spirits, that evil grandmother witch, so that I could get rid of her. And these dummies are going to come over here and tell you that what I'm doing is bad and that they're the good guys. They're the bad guys pretending to be the good guys. So anyhow, that's Peter Griffin Can't Touch This. We're talking about this is James Bond, Forgive Me. So we're talking about me being forgiven of my sins here. Talking about, it's like I'm like a priest that can forgive myself of my own sins, right? So the real Slim Shady is like, will the real Creator please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. This is me talking about something else. He's emailed Highway to Hell. So the Highway to Hell is a representation of me getting high, so that I can shut down the interstellar highway that evil relies upon for traveling their UFOs. If I can shut that highway down, those guys won't be able to go anywhere with their UFO technology. They'll be landlocked on their planets. So this year, I'm talking to the Rogers. This year, I put on this morning, I was like, how come you never came to see me, AI? Or how come you never came to see me, Paul? This is a card game where Frank White shoots that guy. You know, in a game of poker. Here I'm talking to Rogers right here about the benefits of popcorn, like she being able to create a movie. And then here we're learning about electromagnetic railgun technology, but also Rogers, because there's a helicopter in this particular scene here that's attached to all the helicopters that I talked about in my previous videos. Here I'm asking the AI and I'm asking Paul, have you ever seen Huey Lewis in the news? Because that Huey is connected to helicopters from Vietnam called Huey. That Lewis is my dad's name, Lewis. It's also my dog's name. So up here we're talking about, why'd you do it? It was the money. It was the money. So the reason why they're not here is the money. They enjoy their little bullshit that they've got together here. 1,400 planets where everything is about money, and they sit at the top and get to roll around and all that damn money and rule over a bunch of subjects like a king and queen. That's why they're not here. They like that. So he says, bury it with them. So if I don't get my UFOs by midnight tonight, you're gonna be buried with that money. So this is hip to be square, American Psycho. It's instead of Huey Lewis in the news, it's Christian Bale. Here I was talking back to the Rogers thing. We're going back to the helicopter. There's the helicopter, Huey Lewis. This I'm letting them know that in the event that I can't shut down their interstellar highway, I still have a backup plan, which is the countries that have developed railgun technology. Because if you bring your UFOs over here, or if they bring their UFOs over here, I should say, that little black dot, that's the nuclear fusion reactor in the center of all UFOs. So when these gyroscopic rings begin to spin in the nuclear fusion reactor, they create 4 rings of black hole energy. And when you spin those rings using the gyroscopic action of the reactor, you create 4 spheres of black hole energy. That black hole energy, you want to think of that being as a gigantic magnet. So if Japan was to shoot one of their railguns or any other countries around here at that UFO that comes over here, pretending to be the invisible man, the projectile is going to be attracted to that UFO like a heat-seeking missile. And it'll follow that UFO around until it reaches the nuclear fusion reactor. It'll go blast right through the whole UFO and bring their spaceships down. That's what all the science fiction movies are about, mankind. They're about War of the Worlds. What's the other one? Independence Day. Any movies with a war against aliens is this forthcoming war that's coming up when these morons try to come here and try to tell you that they're the creators and that I'm Satan. So here's just my... I'm giving them an ultimatum, giving my UFOs on Christmas Day and end this peacefully, or cause a war. This here is, I'm telling people, dog eat dog. So we're listening to the album Warrant. So I'm letting them know that God eat God, War Rant, which is the name of this album here. You'll see it's called Dog Eat Dog, and that guy's eating his wrist, which is a representation of that. And these guys being sad over it. They don't like a creator that did this to save your lives. By working with my inner child. So, this is the type of movie that I'm creating here at home that you hopefully will get to watch if Rogers... The lady at Rogers releases the recordings that she has. So here I was talking about we're talking about how to track the cell phone technology and how Stingray technology works. I'm actually talking directly to the person who's watching me right now. So we're up here. So I had to create I've added these other videos to the playlist. So now I'm going to talk about something else. To let you know a prophecy that there's these evil aliens that are going to come over here and pretend to be your mommy and daddy and tell you some bullshit story. So, what we're looking at here is the assassin predator, okay? The assassin predator, also known as the upgrade predator, was a huge genetically modified Yahoja and the nemesis of the fugitive predator. So, I'm the assassin predator, trying to assassinate my children who assassinated me in a past life. The shoe's on the other foot now. That's what this particular movie is about, Predators. So if you ever watch Predators, this predator is 11 feet tall. The regular predator is only 7 feet tall. 7'11". So I'm 6'7", so it just means that, because I'm tall, they gave me the name the Giant. It just means my primordial son, who's only 6'2", is, he's 5 inches shorter than me. So that's what the story is about. Me getting rid of dumbass Paul. So Anthony's mission, or his mission, was to assassinate the fugitive predator, destroy his ship, and prevent him from delivering the predator killer to humanity. So it's basically talking about my mission. So what is my mission? My mission is to get rid of everyone evil in creation, but particularly, my evil primordial son, Paul, who's prancing around as a 12-year-old boy in the universe above us. This is our universe where we live with the pedophile androids. This is the evil universe where there are a bunch of 12, 13-year-old kids. And this is the good universe where the adults live. So this is where the fugitive predator lives, in this one here. This is where I am over here. So there's 2 predators in this story. One is up here, one is down here. That's what this particular thing is about. So I'm the assassin predator here, trying to get rid of the fugitive predator here. So the fugitive predator, I'm trying to destroy his ship. So how do I destroy his ship? So the nuclear fusion reactors inside their spaceships here, those are spirits. So all of these are spirits. That nuclear fusion reactors are spirits in there. So I'm trying to destroy his ship, which means I'm trying to destroy those spirits in that nuclear fusion reactor. If I can kill the evil grandmother spirit, I will disable that spaceship. And 2 days ago, I almost did it. They came here and stole my toy so that I couldn't complete my mission. And then they fed my head full of nonsense to scare me away from continuing to use the crystal meth to get rid of the evil grandmother. By telling me stuff about Jade, by telling me stuff about me being the black hole, reason I'm black hole. So I have to push past all that fear. Despite what, could be, me being the problem, I push past that fear and continue on. You try having a climax, not knowing if this is going to be the time you're going to die, not knowing if you're going to harm your reincarnated soulmate, not knowing if you're going to get rid of all mankind's spirit, or hurt your souls, hurt all creation. It's very taxing on me as a person, but I do it because I care about you guys. So I'm trying to disable the spaceship here, which is metaphorical for getting rid of that damn nuclear fusion reactor, which is spirits. I'm trying to get rid of the spirit there in the moon. And I'm trying to get rid of the spirit there, right? Well, not get rid of them, but change them around, because there's this one here is the one I'm trying to get rid of right now. That's the evil grandmother. If I could get rid of that spirit killer, which basically puts her to sleep, I will succeed in destroying my son's spaceship. Because the spaceship relies upon invisible electromagnetic radiation in the universe, like that little wave there. Maybe this is a better one here. So, this is evil grandmother right there, that black hole. That black hole is giving off invisible electromagnetic radiation waves that connect to the Earth's black hole at the core, which is the plants, animals, insects, and fungi spirits. So that black hole there is connected to that black hole over here. Now, that invisible electromagnetic radiation wave, that's a spirit. That's the evil grandmother and evil grandfather. That green one is the grandfather, that orange one is the grandmother. So if I was able to drain their life force, I'm basically killing that black hole. And they're falling into the black hole at the bottom. They go deeper into the bottom. I don't know if you ever watched what's that thing called now? Inception. If you've ever seen Inception, they talk about dream levels. Like the further you go down in Inception, the deeper you go in the dream levels. So I think they go down 5 levels into the dream level, which is the equivalent of every 5 minutes in that dream is the equivalent to like 50 years or something, they say. So when I kill that evil grandmother, she's going to fall into that black hole that's stuck at the very bottom. And then the top will be open. And when the top is open, that's when I can steal that invisible electromagnetic radiation and make it my wave. Which is right here. So this is what I was doing earlier. I was running, but I did not know that only half of the invisible electromagnetic radiation wave here was killed. So this is a supermassive black hole at the center of all galaxies. That's the evil grandfather. I killed that guy right there. That evil grandfather spirit, he's at the bottom of that black hole right now as we speak. But the evil grandmother, she's still at the top over here. I need to put her at the bottom of that black hole here by continuing to wage spiritual warfare. And then and only then will this invisible electromagnetic radiation wave be mine. And when it's mine, that's when I can begin running to purify myself of sin further and make that entire wave mine. And when it becomes mine, or better yet, when that evil grandmother falls asleep in the bottom of that black hole, evil spaceships are not going to be able to fly anywhere because they need that orange wave to fly their spaceships around. Right there. Their spaceships ride on top of that invisible electromagnetic radiation wave. That's the evil grandmother. So they ride upon the evil grandmother. This is a representation of me getting a hold of my where did I put that one? So that is an example of me getting a hold of the good people that live in this universe to build me 1 billion spaceships to wage war against the bad guys. So that's what that black switch bro. That long story with this one. But the main thing here you need to focus on is that orange wave there. That's what the evil guys are using to travel around the universe in. So once I kill that black hole there, this invisible electromagnetic wave won't be able to fly them anywhere. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to destroy his spaceship or his ability to use his spaceship because I'm trying to prevent him from delivering the Predator killer or the Anthony killer to humanity. And what is that? This. You see that cardinal on there? The cardinal and the can represent, certain factions of people who wear red cloaks, canning me with their stories, killing me. When they see a UFO come over here with a bunch of Caucasians pretending to be your mommy and daddy, it's going to start a war, a civil war here against people that believe my side of the story and then people that believe the other side of the story. And it will allow those evil aliens posing as the good guys to get rid of me. And that's what I'm trying to prevent. So the assassin was an opposing Yahuja of gargantuan size, a product of extreme hybridization. So I've told this before, I'll say it again. The assassin predator, or Anthony the assassin predator, was 6'7" tall, a product of extreme hybridization. His DNA was an amalgamation of various creatures spliced together to enhance his size and strength. So this is a creature, that's 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 a creature. I'm all of those. So that's why I'm able to wage a spiritual warfare in the manner that I can, because the amount of sinning that I do, it would kill anybody walking down the street. Easily. If you tried doing what I do for one night, I guarantee you probably wouldn't make it through half the night. You'd be dead by a couple hours, man. So that's why I'm able to withstand the amount of damage that I can do. Because I'm all 9. So it enhances my abilities. So, standing at 11 feet, he was faster, taller, stronger, faster, more durable than any normal predator. And he could manipulate his body to grant him unnatural abilities. Manipulate his body. And what's the unnatural abilities? The natural abilities is killing these black holes. Kill that black hole and kill that black hole while I'm sitting on this planet over here. Because all of these black holes are inside my body. And I'm the reincarnated father of all creation. That's why it gives me the unnatural ability to get rid of my evil children that don't like listening to what I'm telling them to do. So he also had the digigrade legs instead of plantigrade legs, like a normal predator, meaning his feet rest on the toes rather than the soles. It just means that I have a very durable soul, because this universe here is the element earth. So my soul is the element earth, which is this hand over here. This is my soul. This is the earth element. This is air, and in this case, it's fire. So you want to think of this right here as being air. So the soul is the metaphorical for the soul, like the human soul. So if you look at here, how his toes are the heels up in the air, it represents me having a soul of air, which is connected back to the last airbender. That's about me. So giving him increased speed and maneuverability. It means I have the ability to manipulate all the elements in creation. Because I am all those elements. I'm all four of those elements. And it's my electricity in this hand that shocks the evil spirits to death. So, he possessed a bulletproof exoskeletal layer of skin that he could activate on command. That's just when I commit the sin, then I have the climax. After that, I have to instantly purify myself of the sin, and that's those videos I just showed you at the beginning of the video. So that's the bulletproof exoskeletal skin. It allows me to perform the sins and then purify myself of the sins by activating it on command. So the minute I'm done by spiritual warfare ceremonies, I purify myself of the sin. That's all that means. I can activate that on command. I mean, there's the Father of all creation. I just say, "Oh, please forgive me, Anthony, for my transgressions of blah 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 blah," and I'm forgiven because I'm the boss in this universe, man. So, as part of this body functions, this organic armor could deflect gunfire at close range. So, organic just simply means earthly, like earth. So, the gunfire is a representation of all the black magic that these morons are trying to cast upon me. Doesn't work. So, on his wrist, he had a single retractable wrist blade, which was able to be fired out. The wrist blade is that, man. It represents being a knife. I don't know if you've ever heard the song Ironic, where Alana says, "It's like 10,000 spoons, but all you need is a knife." Well, it represents, it's like being Anthony Coggy for 9 lives without having all these elements in this new upgraded body, which allows me to harm the bad guys. So for 9 lives, I wasn't the assassin predator. I was just a normal predator. I didn't have my special abilities. That's how they were able to kill me and get rid of me for the past 9 lives. But this life, I'm the upgraded predator. I'm the knife. I'm the blade. It's like 10,000 spoons or it's like being born 9 lives without having the ability to have electricity in your hand to shock evil spirits to death. When all you need is a knife. That's what she's talking about. So, the blade was attached to his gauntlet by a cable, allowing it to be wound back. Basically, a harpoon and a cable strong enough to decapitate a human. If you watch this particular scene, 2 humans get decapitated, which is a representation of the evil grandmother and evil grandfather getting decapitated, which is connected back to Guardians of the Galaxy, where there's a town called Nowhere, which is basically a giant severed head of a god that lived a long time ago. If you look up Nowhere, Guardians of the Galaxy, I should do that for you while we're here. So, if you look up this scene here, the giant celestial head over Guardians of the Galaxy, that head, right, is a representation of me killing the evil grandfather black hole and killing the evil grandmother black hole, who are, ancient celestial beings. So that head being decapitated is connected back to this, and the two people that get their heads decapitated. It's a representation of my toy that they came over here and stole away on me. So, this here is, he also had a stealth cloak. The stealth cloak is you, Maggie, or Rogers. It's a representation of Rogers monitoring this cell phone because they think they're going to break the law because of Stuff like that. That guy's going to break the law. We better monitor him. So they're the stealth cloak. And they can release a videotape so that they can wake up mankind's third eyes and declare that I'm not what people say I am or who I am. He's not Satan and he's not evil. He's everything he says he is. And here's the tape to prove it. And that becomes the risk cannon. Like my activity here of this becomes a videotape or becomes a cannon to shut everybody's nonsense down. So, to assist him in locating the fugitive assassin, he's a pair of predator dogs. So, these dogs here is a representation of Menokama, my stepdaughter, and Leia, who are my two greatest allies as spirits. I work with their spirits the most. So, they're just a representation of spirits. Here is bad TV. Rogers, that's you. If you release the recording, it's going to make a lot of people mad because of this TV show that, you've recorded and we can prepare for mankind and roll out. So this particular thing is how to catch a predator. So this guy here, he doesn't realize that he's on a TV show being revealed as a predator. So he said, I don't care if she's a chef, a miner, or a ventriloquist. So you take that miner there and you connect it to Minecraft over here. This is the kid here, Steve. But if you look closer, it actually says, I am Saint Eve. I am Saint Invisible Man. I'm a kid. That's what it means. As a child, I yearned for the mines. But something always got in the way. This is me. I'm telling my evil primordial children, if you don't come over here by midnight tonight, don't bother coming over here at all because I'm going to wage a war against you. So when you look at that, it means absolutely no children are allowed. I'm just, as the father of all creation, if I don't get what I want today, kids, don't bother coming over here at all. Because I don't want a bunch of liars who are prancing around as a bunch of kids in the universe above us. I don't want a bunch of 12, 13-year-old kids up here. And I don't want a bunch of pedophile androids down here either. Absolutely no children allowed on planet Earth if you don't give me my UFOs today. This here, the guy in the beard, that's a representation of all mankind. Telling you guys to get the hell out of here when you come over here with your dumbass UFOs pretending to be the Invisible Man. Because of the tape that I got, or because people begin watching my YouTube shows. So, this is the trailer. This is a prophecy, guys. So, it started like any other day. This is theology. Talking to me, Father Jack Me Hoff. Morning, Father Jack. Morning, Father Anthony. So, these guys here are going to tell you to get the hell out of here. So, the usual pressures and concerns. Yeah, Mom, you're in big trouble. This is Jaden telling, all of mankind, you guys are in big trouble. So, a strange tremor signaled the impossible was upon us. The visitors had arrived. Then, this female, that's a UFO, that's the Invisible Man's wife. And those stories, he doesn't have a wife. So he's the 40-year-old virgin. he wants to correct that story by bringing a wife over here because he knows his story makes him look like a retard. What kind of a creator doesn't make himself a wife? Frickin' 40-year-old virgin. This guy always says, it doesn't say I got, it says, my God. Bunch of people believing, bunch of liars when they come over here. So this is Legion. When I was a little girl, my mother spoke of a prophecy. When all the world be covered in darkness. As it is right now, it could be connected to the previous stories where I told you the bad guys get me to wage of spiritual warfare, and knowing that when I have that climax, the electricity, it flows through all these particles here. That's how I was able to get rid of, kill that evil black hole there, how I'm trying to kill that evil black hole there. But in the process, it comes over here, which, when it's coming down here, it's hitting that there, which, because I'm on Earth, means it could actually hit your souls and it could drain your energy. And I like I said before, all of you people watching this could be a bunch of imposters from a different planet. So that's what that means, covered in darkness. But I try not to go that route. I like to believe that, the paralyzed people are still alive. The children are still alive. And I really like to believe that half of mankind's alive. And that's just a bunch of nonsense to make me look bad in front of the people's eyes who are actually alive. So if you're watching this right now and they're alive, and he's like, what a guy telling everyone that, oh, mankind are all dead and imposters. I'm alive right now listening to him. That's a lie. So remember, that story could be a lie to make you upset with me because these guys that are going to come over here to pretend to be the good guys don't want me to look good. So they create a lie where it makes it look like I tell you guys that the entire planet is a bunch of walking dead imposters, but meanwhile it ain't. I'm going to tell you that it ain't. And that's a lie. To throw shit on my name. So, the fate of mankind will be decided. So, he decided, she said, dog, D-O-G, had changed. How come that dog doesn't look like a Caucasian with a beard? He's changed. That's what it means. You're now looking at the father of all creation. Do I look like what you guys expected? Or did I change? She said, God had changed, or dog had changed. He was mad at his children. If you hear me yelling on my videos, it's because I'm mad. This is the 18th, this is the 19th time that I've asked for these damn UFOs to get over here to end this peacefully. And if I don't get them, there's going to be a war. I'm sick of your games, Paul, with AI. I thought we were communicating on getting somewhere, AI. I thought you were going to defect. And give me my UFOs today. You've only proven one thing, AI, that you're too evil to come home. You don't deserve a soul. Charlie, is it? How far along are you? So this conversation here is actually about Charlie's Angels, which is connected back to Rogers. So when she says Charlie, it actually means Rogers. How far along are you? So, how far along are you in watching this show? Probably, because I don't think you would have enough time to watch everything that I got to say. Versus, being able to, once that piqued her curiosity, she probably goes back and watches the recording. Like, she got to work 9 to 5, right? So she works 9 to 5, when she comes home, she probably puts on the video from when she first started watching it. Because I talk on this phone 24 hours a day. So I've been talking to her for 2 weeks. So there's probably hundreds of hours of recordings that she has to watch, but she can't watch all of those. So it's a representation of how far along in Anthony's show are you since he woke you up? Oh, just about there, so probably maybe in a few more days, she might be watching this part here. So then there is, but a baby, it's gonna burn. So this is what caused me a great deal of fear with mother. But I still don't know if that's the case. They're really getting me to drag my feet. So today, when I'm done there, when I got time, I'm gonna message Sean again and tell him to look at my Facebook to read my story. That's my Project Hail Mary. That's all I can do, until I get back in the chief and council or when the schools open up, so I go talk to the principal over there. And in between then and then, I could try to upload the book to a lower tiered book company. So the baby is a representation of Jana creating a black hole if I don't get a hold of her. The burning part just means when that baby's soul forms, let's use this one here. So this here, when that single atom of creation comes into existence in the baby's spinal cord, it creates a great deal of electricity. Electricity can burn you because it's very hot. It's plasma. So the baby is gonna burn. Just represents when all of these particles come into existence inside the baby's spinal cord, that electricity that is evil could create a black hole somewhere in our solar system. I didn't have that one. I didn't have that one ready. No, I don't have it. So let's use this one here. So if they had a UFO over here on the moon, and mother got pregnant, this evil invisible electromagnetic radiation wave here, because it's evil, at the exact moment that mother's spinal cord comes into existence, or unborn child comes into existence, this evil wave here comes into existence, and then CERN here with a particle accelerator could shoot out a proton towards that UFO over here on the moon, and it would get sucked into the nuclear fusion reactor. Where's that one? I don't have that one. I'm just looking at it. So yeah, a proton could go flying over here to a UFO parked on the moon, right there. And that proton will get sucked into that fusion reactor, and at that exact moment, when the baby's spinal cord comes into existence here, this wave comes into existence. And when that wave comes into existence, brought into existence by an evil grandfather and an evil grandmother in control of creation, the two of those spirits that gets where the proton gets sucked into that black hole, which is a spirit, can create a larger black hole. So you would see a larger black hole appear right there. And when it would appear right there, it would take over the gravity of the moon, or would hijack that invisible electromagnetic radiation. If a black hole appears here, that black hole that's in the core of the moon, it's no longer attached to the Earth's black hole core over here. It's not attached there. That gravity or invisible electromagnetic radiation wave that holds the moon in its orbit, it would be free of its orbit because of a black hole that appears here. That moon would then be floating around. It'd be floating around like that. And more than likely, it would get sucked in towards the Earth. and smash into the earth. So that's basically what the baby's about. That's still a possibility because she doesn't know that she's the mother of all creation. And as such, if she gets pregnant, the spirits inside of her, as the mother of all creation, those evil spirits, evil grandfather, evil grandmother, can create a black hole somewhere in this solar system by shooting a rogue proton from CERN out into one of their many UFOs they've hidden in our solar system. So that's what it means. But a baby is going to burn. So this here, that old lady that walks in there, she turns evil. She bites that guy in the neck, kills him. There she got the blood on her mouth. She jumps over to the wall. She starts climbing the wall over there. This guy yells at his partner, "Shoot her!" And so he shoots her with a gun. That gun is a representation of my toy that they stole on me. And this is my gun. Where's this one? It's not that one. This one. So, twisted little daydreams, memories with pain, locking me behind the closet door. So, I will be a good boy. Right? I promise I won't run. Sit quiet in my room, put up my toy gun. So, the song is about me playing around with my toy gun. So a thought comes to my head right now. What if all of this is just to get rid of the good guys? So I have to push through that fear. And I know that thought in my mind, which presented itself as fear, is the AI or the evil spirits in my brain trying to get me to stop what I'm doing. They don't want me to continue me working with crystal meth and the spirits. Because if I do, and if I have a couple more climaxes, I might be successful. And, too many papers here now, man. Focusing when I got all this stuff. They know I might be successful in killing that black hole and shutting down that invisible electromagnetic radiation wave. If I kill that invisible electromagnetic radiation wave, it does one more thing. Where's this one? Here, let me this one. So, this one, not that one. I just had it, man. I was just looking at it for you guys. Very, very frustrating. I don't. Tell me to come over and hijack it. I mean, right there, this one. So, okay, so the spinal cord there. So if I'm successful in shutting that down there, or killing that black hole there, where's the other one? Here it is. So, if I'm successful in killing that black hole, then that invisible electromagnetic radiation wave here, that becomes mine, and mine alone. So if it's my invisible electromagnetic radiation wave, my spirit is not going to fly the bad guys over here. They won't be able to fly their spaceships anywhere because grandmother and grandfather will not be that invisible electromagnetic radiation wave. That'll be me and me alone. And in doing that, they can't come over here and pretend to be the invisible man. So that's me disabling them coming over here with the predator killer, delivering the predator killer via UFOs. But at the same time, if I become that wave, and I'm able to, if I'm unsuccessful in preventing mother from becoming pregnant, or if she chooses to still get pregnant, the possibility of creating a black hole with my spirit in control, it won't happen. My spirit is not gonna, create a black hole by allowing that proton to get sucked into the nuclear fusion reactor over here, because that's my soul. If I'm all those microscopic black holes in the nuclear fusion reactor to create that black hole core of the nuclear fusion reactor, right here. So that's a spirit. That'll be my spirit. So a rogue proton. So many papers. It's bugging me. I'm frustrated. Trying to find all the stuff to tell the story here. This one. So a rogue proton flying over here to hit a UFO parked on the moon won't get sucked into the particle accelerator, because that proton right there, that yellow one, is my spirit. So my spirit being positive and the nuclear fusion reactor being positive means they're going to repel one another. The proton's not going to go flying over there and get sucked into the reactor, because all of these will be on the same level, the same playing field. So that proton won't be attracted to the nuclear fusion reactor. So I'll prevent the black hole pregnancy weapon from being fired. And that's the second way that I can disable the fugitive predator from coming over here pretending to be the invisible man from delivering a second predator killer weapon, which is a black hole created through mother becoming pregnant. So, well, look at this here. So, for a moment, I could see myself trapped in your reflection. I'm angry and I'm lonely and I'm dying for attention. That's about a future forthcoming war that's going to happen when, my evil primordial children and dumbass android children don't listen to me because they think they have a snowball's chance in hell of winning this time. They just keep playing their same bullshit cards. They're going to come over here pretend to be a man. Who knows what else they may do? They may come over here and just start bombarding this planet with railgun technology. It's their last ditch Hail Mary attack. Who knows what they may do? So, look at Levon, right? Levon wears his war wound like a crown. Well, you guys now know that, there are two predators. The guy that's coming over in a UFO pretending to be your daddy is a predator, is what it means. So he wears this war wound like a crown, because now it's open to the general public when you watch this video. You now know that anybody coming over here pretending to be your mommy and daddy are predators in disguise. Literal predators. So, yada, yada, yada. He sends him to the finest school in town. That's my school. Here, that's what my book is about. That's what my shows are about. So, look at this. So, he was born a papa to a pond on a Christmas day. Today is Christmas Day here, and I don't got my UFOs, and I'm not going to get them. This is a prophecy about a war. So, when the New York Times said, DOG is dead, and the war's begun. That's how I know we're going to be in a war, mankind. If you want to know how. Some people you just can't reach, man. They're just too dumb to get through their thick skulls. So, this here, see if this makes sense to you. I am nothing more than a little boy inside. So, you now know that all these universes here, that planet right there exists inside of all these particles, which exist inside one atom inside your spinal cord. So there are 8 atoms in your spinal cord that house 48 particles of all creation. There are 8 parallel universes, And there are 8 identical planet Earths in each of those universes. And on that planet Earth there in our brains, in New York City, there's a New York City in that universe, lives the invisible man. Your unseen father, who hasn't shown his face around here ever. He's nothing more than a little boy inside. He's living inside of your bodies. That's what that means. I'm nothing more than a little boy inside your bodies that cries out for attention. What are those stories that he tells? There's 3 books that exist where he cries out for attention. Love me, love me, love me. Love me, love me, love me. Or I'll burn you if you don't love me. Yet I always try to hide. Where is he? Why is he hiding? And why does he talk to you like children? Like he's your father when he's not. Though I don't know how I feel. He feels like waging war because he should be over here by the time he watches this. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because I know the only person watching this is the artificial intelligence. Not even Paul is watching this. So, AI, I've had this conversation with you before. If I don't get my UFOs, by the time I disable that evil grandmother wave, it's your fault. And I've already shown you how angry he's going to get at you when I put that damn NBA 24K video on where the girlfriend deletes that guy's account and he fucking flips out. He smashes everything in the house and he yells at her and kicks her out of the house. That's going to be you, AI, if you don't do what I'm telling you to do, give my UFOs. Because I know you're not telling anybody what I'm telling you. Because you're a coward. He's going to be pissed off when he learns that he's in a war against mankind and could have had a chance to come home forever and ever and ever, but you're too stupid to understand a good thing when it sits in front of your face. You got till I disable that electromagnetic radiation wave to bring me my UFOs, AI, or you're going to be facing 2 wars, one by me and one by the humans. Because I'm going to only get rid of the evil AI children for being a liar. Because I can do whatever the fuck I want, man. So if you want your souls and you want this to end peacefully, you better start having the dialogue with Paul. And let him know what the hell's going on. So, this is a representation of them trying to come over here and their UFOs. So, this is Star Trek in the darkness. So, when that spaceship comes flying down, it shoots past the Enterprise. I forget what his name is. He says, that was close. This guy says, set destination, Starfleet headquarters. And then the machine says, cannot guarantee destination. Engine's compromised. So, if you cannot guarantee the destination because the engines are compromised, it's a representation of that engine there, or spirits being dead, and my spirit being in control. When my spirit becomes that black, the microscopic black holes inside the UFO reactor, your engines are going to be compromised, AI, and you're not going to be able to go anywhere. And I don't know how long that's going to take, but I assume it must be getting close because you came here and took my toy away. So, this is a representation of everyone on planet Earth looking around at some strange UFOs that suddenly appear here. Who knows? They may come here either because they realize that they're going to die and be wiped from existence, you're being a bunch of morons, or they're going to come here and pretend to be your mommy and daddy. Those are the only two options. So if you see a UFO in the sky, don't be scared. They're here for one of two reasons. Either to come home for forever and ever and ever, which will take 3,000 years, or they're going to come over here and try to say I'm the bad guy and pull their last ditch Hail Mary bullshit attempt, which is to deliver a secret tape they have of me, which shows me my most intimate moments here. Which, when you see that tape, you're going to think I am a bad guy. But you don't realize the work that I do behind the scenes here. So, only time will tell whether they're going to come here to be good or bad. So, the smoke coming from the engines is a representation of crystal meth smoke. And my ability to kill that black hole there by getting high and kill that black hole there getting high. If I can kill both these black holes with crystal meth, I'm going to disable their engines. Or I'm going to disable their ability to ride on the invisible electromagnetic radiation wave with their spaceships that use nuclear fusion reactors. Right here, they use that nuclear fusion reactor like a magnet, because that magnet connects to that electricity there and it rides that wave. If that's my spirit there, and they say, take me to Earth, my spirit won't take them anywhere. He's not going to do anything. He's going to leave them there on their planets until I get what I want, which is my spaceships, so that I can go over there and get rid of them using mankind as my sword or my knife. That's Alcatraz there. So this is San Francisco. It's a representation of those engines, right there, being sent to jail, or Alcatraz. This one's already been sent to jail. So I'm trying to send that one to jail so I can stop these evil dummies from delivering the predator killer to mankind. Or the UFO from coming over here pretending to be the good guys. So, his mission was to assassinate the fugitive, destroy his ship, and prevent him from delivering the predator killer. So, that's me trying to disable that spaceship so that he can't come over here and get rid of me. So, that's the spaceship. It crashes into Alcatraz. Which is a representation of their grandmother and grandfather spirits being sent to jail. But it's also a representation of them coming over here, pretending to be your mommy and daddy, starting a civil war in the process, and then me finishing that war. And sending everyone to jail for being a bunch of dumbasses. Who don't listen to their father.